I'm Matt of the Etrailer. Today we're going to be talking about the Etrailer Ball Mount with a 2-inch drop on the back of our 2023 Tesla Model Y. Now this will be a solid choice if you're just looking for a simple ball mount to pull any type of trailers behind you. Now I will say with this type of drop, this is probably going to be the minimum drop I recommend. Anything below this is going to be pretty low to the ground and not too many trailers are going to fit very nicely on here. The reason why I say that is typically when you're pulling a trailer behind you, you want to make sure everything is as level as possible so you can haul safely. And speaking a little bit more to that, we are going to have some different options for ball mounts from Etrailer. And those are also going to have some rises to them. And a little bit of a rise is actually going to be pretty good for the Model Y. Or you could go with an adjustable ball mount. Now I will say I wouldn't recommend using that in the drop position since that actual mount itself is going to be pretty low to the ground. If you do go with that, I'd recommend just flipping it around so it's in the rise so you don't have to worry about bottoming out. But the one we're going to be talking about today is a little bit different from the rest of them. What separates this one is actually going to be how it's constructed. So let me just pull this pin and clip that does come with it. And I'm going to flip this around. Compared to the other ones we have, this one's going to have a solid shank. The other one's going to be hollow. So this is actually going to have a higher weight capacity. So it's going to be very sturdy. And this one's going to use a 2-inch ball like most of them do. And it's going to be rated for 10,000 pounds. And it's going to be rated for 1,000 pounds for your tongue weight. Now really what the difference between your towing and your tongue weight are is your towing capacity is going to be how much the trailer itself weighs with its load, and the tongue weight is going to be the downward force applied. It's also important to note, when you are pulling anything behind you, always go from the lowest rated component. So we want to make sure our hitch is going to be able to handle our load, but also our vehicle. And then go from the lowest rated one so you don't damage anything. Now let's get a few measurements to see how it's going to interact with the Model Y. So the first measurement I'm going to get is going to be the center of this ball itself from your back bumper. That's going to be about 3.5 inches. And that's important to know because when you are hooking up, you want to know how far away that coupler is going to be from your back bumper. This is going to be a little bit tight, so just be a little bit mindful when you are backing up so you don't scuff up your bumper any. Now the next measurement I want to get is going to be the total distance it sits away. And that's going to be a little bit under 4.5 inches. That's good to know because if you're in a really tight spot like a garage or a parking lot, you want to make sure you're not going to bump into anything since this is just going to add a little bit more space or length to your vehicle. The last thing I want to get is going to be the distance from the ground. Since this does have a drop, this is going to be a little bit lower. So right now this is going to be at 9 inches. Typically anything 9 inches away from the vehicle, especially when you have a load on there, it's going to drop it a little bit more. But since it's so close to our vehicle, in most cases, this is going to be fine. In my opinion, I think this is going to be a solid choice, especially if you're looking for something with more of a solid design and simple to use and just affordable. Now, of course, this is going to be the lowest one that I do recommend. If you do have a trailer, most likely you're going to need something with just a little bit of a rise, which we have plenty of options here on the website for that. But of course, if you guys have any other questions, please let us know here at Etrailer. And again, I'm Matt. Thanks for watching.